So the Hacky Sack is a really great tool to help you train your foot dexterity, coordination, mobility and balance all at once and have fun while you're at it. So it's an awesome skill to learn, but it is very challenging at first, especially if you haven't done any kind of soccer or football or anything like that. So in this video, I'm going to show you our step-by-step system of how to Hacky. So first up, just to let you know, all our Hackies are handmade by artisans in Guatemala, so they can come in a little bit of a different shape and size, mostly about this size though. And what you will find is at first they're quite sort of packed and that can make them hard to grip with your toes. So a couple of things that you can do at first is just give it a gentle roll between your hands like that. You could do the same thing on the ground with your foot, nice and gentle. You don't want to sort of reef on them. The other thing that you'll find is the more they get kicked like that, which I'll be showing you later, or even just dropped on the ground, over time that will loosen them up. If you're finding that the first step with the pick that I'm about to show you is just way too hard, then you can use a balled up pair of socks in its place until you get better and better, and then you can go back to the Hacky Sack for the picks. So I've just given you a preview there, but the first step in our system is the pick. So our system is called the perfect system, PFKT, pick, flick, kick, and trick. So the picks is literally just picking up the Hacky with your toes like that, which is a great way to train the dexterity as well as the active splay in your toes. And just getting that at first is a really good skill. As I said, use a balled up pair of socks if you need to. There's no worries there. And over time, the more active toe splay mobility work you do, like with all the exercises you'll find in the foot restoration, foot exploration routines, as well as the Rewild Your Toes video, the more you do of that, the easier this will become. So just get used to that at first, and then you can go for a pick and grab. So there's a few different pick and grab patterns. One that's a high knee, like that. There's a straight knee, I'll show you from the side. You can also think of the straight knee as straight as possible knee. So if that means it looks like that at first, and you just get it a little bit straighter and straighter over time, that's fine. Then you've got an outside pick, which is hip external rotation, and an inside pick. Sorry, that was hip internal rotation. This is hip external rotation with an inside pick. I'll show you the same thing on the other side. And something I want you to keep in mind is that the straighter and taller your trunk stays while you're doing this, the more work your hip will have to do. So if you need to bend down a little bit at first like this to pick up the Hacky, that's fine. But just be aware of that, and over time, try and stay taller and taller until your hip is really doing all the work. Again, from the side for your straight knee, same thing. I'm bending a little bit there to get that, but if I really focused on it, I could stay taller, and that just means my quad and hip flexors are doing more of the work. The outside, you want to keep this part of your foot basically parallel to the ground, and that will really come in handy for your flicks and kicks, as you'll see soon. And similar thing for the inside pick. So that's all of the pick patterns, and the flick patterns are all exactly the same, except this time you're trying to flick the Hacky up to yourself. So high knee flick is just up like that, and then you would catch. If you don't manage to catch it and just goes forward like that, or you just miss the catch, it's completely fine, but that's the aim. And a lot of that is in the timing of the release. So if you release too late, it'll go down. Too early, you just won't get it, but over time you'll figure it out. Just allow yourself lots of reps there. Straight knee flick, as it sounds, trying to keep that knee straight. Outside flick. So with that outside, again, trying to get the foot parallel, because otherwise the tendency is to sort of just go up backwards like that, which makes the flick a little bit harder, but especially the kick, as you'll see soon. And then the inside flick, that is notoriously tough one, and the release of that, the timing is very important. Again, make sure you're trying to do both sides here, keep it even, and note any differences side to side. So then we've got our kicks, and again, it's all the same patterns. So high knee kick, or it's just also just a knee. So you're dropping it down. That's the easiest way to train these, is dropping down and kneeing, and you want to try both. You've got a straight kick. Again, try both. And you're trying to catch it. If you don't catch it and you're walking around picking it up, that's fine. That's what we all did at first. But over time, you can dial that in. With that straight kick, you want to try and hit the hacky right on this point with a little bit of toe extension. So it's coming down like that, boom. And that helps it come straight back up at you. Then you've got your outside kick. So this is where that's really important, because if I can have my foot parallel, I get a good platform for the hacky to bounce straight off. If I'm doing this with my foot, I'm just gonna miss that kick. Or I'd have to drop it back like this, and bouncing off the heel just doesn't really work. It really needs to bounce off the outside. Same with the inside, up like that. You really want the hacky hitting that meaty part of your foot. And again, make sure you're doing both sides, getting them even. And expect a lot of errors with this, because there's just no way around it. You'll be making errors, and over time your brain will tune in that coordination. So the next thing is actually combining those, pick, flick, kick. So that would be, say, going into a high knee. So pick, high knee, and then knee it up and catch. But you can do any combination. It could be pick, flick, straight kick. It could be pick, flick, outside, pick, flick, inside. Again, you want to try both sides. Now, I know I'm kind of going through these quite quickly. You may need to be practicing the picks for a week, then the flicks for a week, then the kicks for a week. So just don't rush this, but feel free to have a good crack. Pick, flick, kick in any combination that you can. And then you can also work on juggling. So that would just mean multiple kicks at once. So for instance, multiple knees. See how many knees you could do. That's usually the easiest place to start. See how many knees you can do at once. Then you can just go with any combination. Again, expect a lot of drops with this, but any combination, knee, knee, foot, foot, outside. How many can you do in a row? And then you could start a juggle with a pick, flick, kick, like that. And you just keep going until you get a good combination going. And it's a good idea to just track how many in a row can you do without messing it up. Last one is a trick. And this could be pretty much anything. I'll give you one trick to start with. You can make up your own, but this is like a Rabona. They call that a Rabona sort of move in soccer, but that's just coming around like that, flick and catch. Or you could sort of drop down and kick it back up to you around the back like that. Then what you can do is actually integrate all of that system, the perfect system, into some balance training with a soulmate, or it could be a rolled up towel. So I'll just grab these. So that soulmate is obviously that half dome surface, which makes the balance more challenging, but a roll up towel can also do a really great job for that. And then you could be standing on that and just doing all of that same pick, flick, kick, whatever level you're up to. It might just be the picks. Don't underestimate the power of the picks for then unlocking your ability to do all the flicks and the kicks. But you could do that on a towel as well. All the same things. And we also have a lot of other ways that you can use the hacky sack to help challenge your balance in fun and play-based ways, all within our soulmate sessions. So I highly encourage you check them out. You don't actually need the soulmate, as I've just said. You could do all of those soulmate sessions with a rolled up towel or 2 rolled up towels in place of the soulmate. And you could do all of this with a balled up pair of socks instead of a hacky at first if you need to. But either way, just commit to 5 or 10 minutes a day of practice. I promise you will improve quicker than you think. It can be very frustrating at first, but it is a very rewarding skill to learn. And after a while, you can just get down to the park and play around, whether it's by yourself or with some friends. You can have a lot of fun with this while getting a lot of movement in the body. So yeah, I encourage you to stick at it, have fun, and we'll see you in the next video.